Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I'm going to go through 3 games. The first game is just a random win that I did, and the other 2 games have got brilliant moves, so stay tuned and stay to the end as well, because the brilliant moves, we just want to try and get involved with so many of those around because we want to do them ourselves. So I was able to do one, and the other one unfortunately was a game against me. So okay, so he's done this opening. This is very different. I've never seen this. If you're actually watching this and you're someone that's learning chess, this is one of the most common rules, or not rules, but principles you must follow. Do not play f6. Do not play f3. Do not play c3. Do not play c7. The reason is, if you got a castle this side, you don't want to have, or even this side, we'll say these sides, and this side, we do not want to have the bishop or queen being able to target down on the king. Okay, it's just terrible in there as well. So just pretend that the rook's here and the king's here. It's just terrible. You don't want to have this diagonal done. There's extreme circumstances where you want to you can probably get away with it. Say if the light square bishop was traded off the board, maybe no queen, maybe, but yeah, if the light squared bishop's still on the board, and definitely the queen, you do not want. So anyway, this was a weird opening anyway, so this breaks all the principles, but sometimes doing something that's shocking is actually good. If you can work out some moves for an opening that no one's used to, you could have the advantage as well. So say like my opponent, Bokhog 10, in the previous video, he played the Scandinavian, but he actually followed his pawn all the way down here, so I wasn't used to that, so it can actually work. So okay, so we've doubled our pawns, so we're used to doubling our pawns here. It's not uncommon in this scenario, in this opening, and he's targeting the pawn. We defend the pawn. Okay, so defend. If he goes here, trade here, there's a undiscovered queen trade as well. And today, I don't know, today I felt like I wasn't scared of losing queens or even encouraging this move. I've seemed to have done this about 3 or 4 times at least today. Normally in black. This is probably the first time in white that I actually did this. Okay, so the pin, and then we defend and get rid of the pin immediately. Okay, so now he's starting to target these squares. So there's no threat here. Is here as well. He does have this square, so the knight is moved nicely to defend this square as well, so that's good for him. Okay, so we try to put some pressure on the bishop, trying to get him out of our area. Okay, so he does the sneaky, well, not sneaky, but he castles, and that's pretty smart because now he castles and gains a tempo as well. So we block. Okay, so now we're pinned, so we've got to be aware that this bishop cannot move. So people can threaten this bishop from this side if possible, and we can't attack. So this square could be taken. If this piece wasn't here, someone could sit here and just gain pressure on the board. Okay, so he trades. We decide to trade here. I decided to trade this way. I wanted to have the rook with a semi-open file. Since my king's stuck in the middle at the moment, I didn't mind having more pawns in the center. So this was actually a plan of mine, just to control more squares towards the center, just because of the king. And then also we've got a rook that I was thinking about going here as well. So this is very I was playing a little bit, I must have been playing some different type of music today, because it got me playing different moves. So okay, so he defends with his knight, so that's pretty smart. Whenever you can keep your knights intertwined like that. Sorry, yeah. So yeah, you can't attack each one because they're defended. Putting pressure on the pawn now. He blocks it. Moving the pin, so we got rid of the pin. We got rid of this pin here. It's one of the rules I keep saying about. Always get rid of the pin. Alright, so we've moved it to the B1 square to attack here. Just to put pressure on the black's defense. Now he's doubled up the rooks. So this is pretty dangerous now. So hopefully I've done, could have done here. Moved here to block. There's a few different moves. This game was probably about 50 games ago, so I'm trying to go by memory. I'm guessing I went here for the block. The block is pretty good. But no, I just got out of the way. So we are controlling that square. Controlling this square, controlling this square, controlling this square, controlling this square. So we do have control, even though they've got double pawns. They do not want to trade any of those rooks for a pawn and a bishop. Okay, so he's trying to get rid of the bishop. And he's also putting pressure on this pawn, so... Okay. So we run away, and we're pinning the knight to the rook. Okay, so he takes the pawn, and also now putting pressure on here. It was this moment where I thought, what do I say about what people do at our ratings? They go after the points. So have a look what I did in the next move, and this is the reason why I did this video. Predicting the opponent takes the rook, can you see a really good move for us? Alright, I'm going to play it. Alright, so we've just taken the knight. So we're putting pressure on the rook, and also on the pawn as well. Okay? He takes with the bishop. And then we move the undiscovered checkmate. So he takes the rook, and we get him in checkmate, okay? And now the next game. Now this game is the one that's got the brilliant move on it. So we do a Sicilian. So whenever I said E4, we're doing Sicilians. I did play a few games differently today. I went back to the two knights defense, and also, what was the other moves? Also did some Italian games as well. So the anti-fried liver attack. Okay, so we're doing some trading now. Trying to block. Defending the knight. He castles. So these are all good moves. This is not a good move. I was looking to fianchetto the bishop, but the computer doesn't like it. It's hard to keep the computer happy all the time. So we go do a good move. So just controlling the long diagonal. Okay, now he's moved up forward. So he's making my bishop look terrible. Now we castle from the best move. He moves down. That's very passive of him. I personally like doing these moves where they can defend it by the knight. And then attacking the queen. But yeah, now we move forward and trying to control the center here. With trying to control these squares. He's trying to get this bishop. Not sure if I saw it this game, but I told you every time we fianchetto, they always like to team up and do a battery with the queen and try and get our bishop. So I actually saw it this game. He goes down, and I saw a better move, but yeah, normally I go back here and we avoid the bishop swap, but I didn't do it this game. So he's fallen in love with that move. So when people do that, they're 100% going to take your bishop. So if you're knowing that, especially at this rating, we could take advantage of that. So so what I mean is, if you see this move here, we know there's going to take there, and it's going to be very hard for him to change his mind. So we've got the rest of the board to think of one move where we can just change it to the way we want, because our opponent's stuck with his plan. Okay. So anyway, whether or not I succeeded in changing his getting advantage, it's just something to keep in mind of what people can do and their weaknesses. Okay, so that's a mistake actually. So he misses the win because the mistake was it was a free knight. Okay, so he did a blunder. Now he takes our knight. Put some pressure on the knight. At this stage I wanted to take here and check, and then here and mate. So I wanted to put pressure on the knight. Okay, so the computer doesn't like his move. So we take. And he does a mistake again. And we missed the win. So we've definitely got our chances in this game. Okay, putting pressure on the bishop. Now, yeah, that's why our opponent, the computer didn't like our bishop attacking their bishop. It blocked our pawn. So we still took anyway. And that was the brilliant move, okay? So that was the brilliant move. I'll quickly play out the game. So we go and check. We've got a fork here between the rook and the queen. He's checking us. We run back. He's going to checkmate us. Not today, but we're blocking him. And now he's doubled up the rooks. And now we've moved the rook back. Okay. And just playing it through quicker. Defending the checkmate. Running behind. Defending. And doubling up the rooks. And now we're trying to put some pressure on the knight and the rook. He takes, we take. He takes. And we double up the rook and the queen. So that was where... This is where I made the mistake in this game. So this game was very close. Well, the computer doesn't actually like it. Yeah, it wasn't that close anyway. So we were losing. Our opponent was playing really good, so we didn't really have a chance. And yeah, what did we do? We lost on time. So yeah, I was trying to cheese him, and I think I ran out of time. So anyway, that was the brilliant move earlier in the game. Anyway, this is the other one. This is where I did the brilliant move. Okay, so we open up. This time we did the two knights defense. Oh no, we didn't do the two knights defense. What do we do here? What do they call this one? I'm not sure what they call that one. In the comments, please comment. Yeah, please comment what that opening is, please. Okay, so he takes, we take, trade, and yeah, there we go again. The queen trade. That's another move that you can assume that they're going to do. As soon as there's an option to take the queen, they get excited and they just seem to do it. So whether or not it's in their advantage or not, they just do it. It's like when they say that people just kids do checks, or like new players and beginners. If there's a check, they just do it. Whether or not it's an advantage, most of the time you just move the king out the way or block it, and there's no advantage. So okay, so now we're doing our favourite move, the pin. Here is the pin. That's great. This time we've moved the king here. So if you have a look here, all open files. So if you can think about what pieces should go there. Alright, we're targeting, so this square here. He's defending twice. And now we're getting our rooks on the good files. Now we're going to retreat because the pawns. And he moves his rook in a bad spot too. So probably defending here was good. We are attacking here as well. Okay, so that makes sense. Yeah, so he's attacking, we're attacking the pawn. So now we get our rooks on a good file. He regresses. Computer doesn't like that move. We take, that's why he doesn't like that move. I did not see that move in the game, so that was a game, that was the move that I forgot. Okay, so we attack. Defend the knight. And we take. That was the only good move. So that was, I was playing well in this. Actually, in the last game, I actually won the last game. I cheesed the opponent, so it didn't actually say, but okay, so we took. So we're playing some good chess here. And we had the fork between the two rooks. We're definitely in favourite here. Ready to take. Got to run away. Got to defend. Take. And this was a blunder. And yeah, this is a blunder because if you have a look here, I'm favourite, but the reason is the computer doesn't like the move. Have a look at my pawns. I've got 4 pawns. We've got great. These 3 are good, but I've got an isolated pawn, and I'm up a bit. And he's +1 material, but yeah, like his king's in dire straight as well, but he doesn't like that. Doesn't like that move. And white's all of a sudden favourite, and trading all the pieces off the board, and I'm crying at the moment because the bishop's just eating everything up. So, okay. So this has gone to an endgame. Taking, and now we've gone to an endgame. I thought I was safe here. Start eating up all these pawns. And this is the move where, this is the brilliant move that I did. And there you have it. That's my first brilliant move I've ever done. Okay, unfortunately I didn't win this game, so we were too far behind. Yeah, so anyway, from not winning, and then that opponent made it equal, and then I took, so actually quite equal here. So I could have actually, yeah, didn't like that move. I'm guessing it should have moved over here and towards the square, but I was trying to think of going here and moving the pawn up the board to promote. So I've been playing a little bit of the endgames, been watching a lot of endgame videos lately. I'm going to do an endgame video eventually too, so once I'm a little bit more, what do they call it? Happy to explain it. So yeah, I moved away from the action, so I should have moved closer to where the pawns are. But it's weird, I was thinking I could get there before, but I made the wrong call. So what was the move? What was the move? What was the best move? Okay, yeah, so just getting in with the pawn. Okay, so we moved up the king. I'm just moving up the... Yeah, so as soon as the king ran up, 2-1, he can promote. So we don't promote in time. He promotes and checks as well. So this is one thing in the end game. If your pawn promotes in check, that's definitely an advantage. But if you promote not in check and your other opponent can check first, it's definitely an interesting game then. So after this, it's just a losing game. We've got 2 pawns on the board, but we let our opponent beat us with the pawns promotions anyway. So yeah, in the end game, it's all about racing your pawns. And I made the critical mistake, so I'm still learning in the end games. And yeah, so hopefully you found some of these moves good, and the brilliant moves. Just we want to try and highlight them as much as we can, and trying to be involved in them. And if you can, just let me know if you ever make brilliant moves yourself. Okay, and thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.